Hello everybody, making this video because I thought of something interesting, and what I'm thinking is that NIO should make their smartphone. And the reason why I think NIO should make a smartphone is because we see a lot of companies like Huawei and Apple that want to enter the electric vehicle smart vehicle market. And they want to do it because it's very lucrative, and that they understand that smart cars is going to be the future. So, when you look at companies like NIO, you notice they have all these things like NIO Life, and they have an ecosystem, right? So that means that, outside of their cars, they have this premium brand where they can sell all these great things like, lifeware, utensils, and for food. They have these little moon cakes. They have these NIO houses. They have all these beautiful things. But while they have nice clothes, premium clothes, they have a premium brand name. One thing I noticed that NIO doesn't have is that they don't have a smartphone. And smartphones are amazing. They're great because data is the new oil, and because data is so valuable that it's worth billions and trillions of dollars. Because you can use that data. Data collection is used for a lot of things. Like, you can sell the data to advertising companies. You can make money off of it. You can sell it to data companies, and they can use that data to turn a profit. Or you can use that data for your own development to better find out what your customers want. Data is the new oil for billions, for many reasons that can be worth billions. So NIO, they tout the fact that they reach these new milestones of autonomous driving or miles driven because that's more data. So the more data they get, the more they can use it towards their research and development, and that research and development can later be sold to make more money, right? Because there is a theory that NIO is eventually going to sell their own chips, right? Their own technology chips, and because of that, they need to collect more data. So again, because when you look at companies like Samsung or Apple, they all have an ecosystem, right? They all have, like clothes. They all have like computers, laptops, things like that. They have smartphones, but one thing they're lacking is that they don't have a smart vehicle. They don't have a smart car. They don't have a smart vehicle yet. But NIO has a smart vehicle. And something we've noticed about NIO is that they have such a unique business model, right? It seems like they understand that people compare NIO to iPhone or Samsung because they have the ecosystem, they have a leasing program, and they have smart technology integrated into their vehicles. But they don't have a smartphone. So, when you look at the company like Huawei or Xiaomi or the other thousands of other smartphone companies that aren't as prominent as these two in China, I think that NIO could do really well. They could introduce their own smartphone, a premium smartphone, and that's just another method of research and development that can lead to more profit later down the line. And they can also use that for data collecting, and they can, in turn a profit from all the data that they have and sell their data. When you look at these smart vehicles like ET7, EC6, EC6, and ES8, sorry, ES6 and ES8, they pretty much have these smart tablets in there, right? But they don't have a smartphone. And all of these NIO vehicles come with 5G. So if NIO can have 5G integrated into their vehicles, why can't they have a smartphone? And eventually I think it's going to happen. There's just no way it's not, and I don't know why no one's thought about it or why no one's discussing this point. But again, we have all these smartphone companies now going into smart vehicles and electric vehicles, so why not NIO double dip? If NIO already has an amazing vehicle company, why not go into the smartphone business as well? And NIO has over 100,000 users of the vehicle, but they have millions of people on NIO Life, active users. So NIO definitely can get users for these smartphones. So when it comes to these NIO smartphones, one, I'd like to reiterate that the benefit of having a NIO smartphone is one, R&D. So when you use research and development towards these smartphones from NIO, That can lead towards better potential profit. You can keep upgrading the phone's technology. You have another source of revenue because you have these phones now that people want, and you can sell these premium phones. Two, it collects data. That's how smartphone companies make a lot of their money. They collect data and they sell those data to like big advertising companies, other companies, businesses. And NIO could use this as well towards creating their own ecosystem and selling their own network and selling their own products. And there's so many things that NIO can do with this data. It's just so valuable, and NIO needs to do that. They need to make a smartphone, and because one, the NIO logo looks amazing. I mean, I would definitely use a smartphone with that NIO logo. It looks so awesome. And the great thing about a NIO smartphone is that not everybody can afford a NIO vehicle, but everybody can afford a smartphone. So NIO can definitely target that customer base. They can start selling smartphones, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people in America would buy that. So yeah, definitely NIO should be doing that. Definitely start selling smartphones. Two, one of the biggest things that can be a game changer for smartphones is, well, you can start selling smartwatches. You can start selling all these great things that integrate with NIO Life. But the amazing thing is that you can integrate it with the actual vehicle itself. So it has functions from Nomi. You know how Samsung has their own Siri, you could have Nomi. Instead, you say, hey Nomi, make an appointment for 11 p.m. or whatever. But yeah, it's basically like a replica of Samsung or iPhone onto Nomi, which is a smartphone. The NIO Nomi, the NIO Nomi 1, NIO Nomi 10, for example. But one of the key features to a NIO smartphone would be the fact that it can do battery swapping. Because I'm going to give you an example for me. I used to sell Verizon phones. That was one of my first jobs ever. And I noticed that no matter what income bracket you come from, everybody wants a smartphone and everybody's going to want the newest thing. It's more affordable to everybody because you can pay, a small upfront cost to lease the phone, upgrade your phone every 2 years. And the down payment is only like $70, and then you add like $20-$30 depending on the phone's model every month. That's reoccurring. But Verizon made a lot of their money because they collect data and they sell the services. So just like NIO, same thing. NIO makes huge premiums off of the art, research, and development. It can also be integrated into the vehicle technology as well. So it's like double dipping into R&D, and it's also double dipping into data collecting. So, but yeah, the battery swapping technology in a smartphone is a big deal because I'm going to use myself for example, and I know a lot of you can relate. When I wake up in the morning and if I have classes or if I have work, I'm on my smartphone throughout the whole day, and I oftentimes have to charge my phone at least once or twice. And I don't even use it that much, but it takes 30 minutes to 2 hours to charge your phone. And yes, you could use fast charging, but I noticed that it doesn't hold the charge that well, and it does lead to faster battery degradation. So what if instead you have like a portable charger that you can use anywhere you want, and it charges your phone's battery? But this instead, you can easily slip it into your NIO phone, and it just swaps the battery out instead. And then you put your old battery into this portable charging pad. And the reason why I suggest this is because when I'm coming home from a long day of work or school, when I'm on my bed, I just want to watch like Rick and Morty or anime or YouTube or whatever, Netflix, and I don't want to have this wire dingling from my my wall into my phone, because then I have to deal with it, and I don't want that tangling with me either when I fall asleep while watching Netflix. But again, like, it makes sure that when I do play video games on my phone or something, my phone won't overheat, because I can just swap the battery out for a different battery. And while I do have an Android, this Galaxy phone, I noticed that it's really hard to actually swap the battery out, because I have to open up my phone, I have to pull the cover out, and then I have to get another battery, and that's like pretty expensive. But it's not only that. Even if I were to have a replacement battery, I don't have anywhere I can charge this battery unless I have another phone, right? Because you can't just plug your phone battery into a charging port. It just doesn't work that way. So, you know, it makes sense to me to have a swappable smartphone battery. So that's going to be one of the key selling points. So there's two key selling points for why a consumer would want to buy a NIO phone. One, the premium integrated technology. You know, maybe it integrates with the ecosystem somehow, to the smartphone, to the car. Two, it's the brand itself. NIO is a premium brand, so just like Apple, when you buy an Apple phone, you're like, oh wow, it makes me feel good. It's clean. It's gonna work good. It's a premium brand. And two, the fact that you can swap the battery out, and that way you don't have to worry about, you know, not having a phone without battery or having to charge your phone, because just swap the battery out. Not a big deal. So again, this benefits NIO, and you know what? Maybe you could integrate this to the vehicle somehow, similar to this little tablet. Maybe you can use mirror mode and reflect onto your smartphone, or maybe you can hook it up with Nomi. There's just so many creative things NIO can do, but let's just focus on the concept of having a smartphone. But yeah, and you know, when it comes to this, you know, NIO can partner up with Huawei or Xiaomi, or they can partner. NIO Capital can invest into another smartphone company that's a little bit smaller, that has, you know, pretty up-to-date technology, and you know, NIO could use that and subsidize their research and development, and then eventually use that technology and integrate into their own company. So, you know, again, smartphone companies is just such a lucrative business. Okay, it's just such a lucrative business because of data collecting and research and development. And you know, when it comes to research and development, when it comes to smartphones and smart vehicles, research and development, technology and ecosystem, they all fit in. They all correlate with each other, and they can all be integrated with each other to work. So it makes a lot of sense for NIO to eventually start their own smartphone company. So, you know, for me personally, I don't really see NIO partnering with Apple, because NIO has such a great brand and government backing that, you know, at this point they're better off just starting their own smartphone company. Because if you want to catch off, well, first of all, people who own NIO vehicles, maybe they can get a smartphone with their vehicle, because these vehicles cost a lot of money. It's like 600,000 RMB or 500,000, 550,000 RMB. So it's pretty expensive. It can come with the phone as well. Or, you know, because the NIO Life app has over millions of users, well, maybe if they want that, they can start buying a smartphone. And if NIO sold their own smartphones, just like Xiaomi or Xiaomi or Huawei, you can't buy Huawei in America or certain parts of the world, but you can buy a Xiaomi. But you know, for me in America, I can't buy a NIO vehicle yet. I want the EC6. I want a EC6 Mate Black, but I can't get it yet. But if NIO were to open up their own smartphone, I would buy that. And even if I can't use the same 5G technology network that NIO offers in China, I could still maybe use a Verizon SIM card for my NIO smartphone. And so, you know, there's a few things to consider. Is that one, NIO is a recognized brand globally. It's not big as other brands, but it definitely is known. So this is just one. There's just so many benefits to marketing, advertisement as well, to on why they want to get the smartphone out there. So it's definitely something NIO should look into. Looking into building a smartphone, and this is just on top of my head. It's pretty late. It's like 3:47 a.m. and you know, I just thought about it now. And I don't really see too many people discussing the idea of NIO owning their own smartphone company, or NIO introducing smartphones, but they should. You know, they should just take the opposite reversal. They should just pretty much do what Apple or Samsung do, and just, you know, replicate it and go the opposite direction, because it seems like they understand the leasing program really well. So if Samsung and Huawei and Xiaomi and Apple wanting it to smart car, NIO, the smart car company, should go into smartphone. So yeah, all that data money, all that data collecting money and R&D is going to be a great thing, especially when NIO opens up their own NIO Park. And I do want to touch upon one more other thing that's a little different. And it's a few of my predictions when it comes to the mass market that NIO's planning to enter. In America, people live paycheck to paycheck. They don't have money. One of the biggest reasons why people bought a NIO vehicle, a smart electric vehicle, is because it was the fact that they could get a good price for it, and the upfront costs weren't that crazy, and there's a lot of subsidies from the government. So I think that eventually when NIO has a lot of battery swap stations, or not, it doesn't even matter if they do, because it's not even about that. It's about the battery as a service concept. So I think that once NIO enters America, for example, NIO should introduce a $25,000 vehicle, which is what they have discussed about. But they should offer battery as a service. And the reason why they should do that is because if a NIO vehicle costs $25,000, and you can add, China EV subsidies along with US EV subsidies along with battery as a service to cut the upfront costs, that would probably win over the average consumer from Tesla or any other company, because they don't have to worry about the upfront costs. They can pay a service subscription. They can pay a leasing or a subscription fee, which is what people in America love to do when you can look at their smartphones or a lot of things on how they do things. It's all subscription based these days. And that way these vehicles are really affordable for the middle class, and that everybody can afford it. And while swap stations are an amazing thing, you don't have to have 1,000 swap stations to accommodate a mass vehicle market with the battery as a service. You can just offer these types of leasing programs to cut the upfront costs. That way, if someone doesn't have enough money to pay for $25,000 down upfront for a vehicle, if you offer battery as a service, it doesn't matter if you have just one swap station accommodate 1,000 users. You can time when to have these batteries swapped out through scheduling. I mean, that sounds terrible, but understand that the battery as a service is as a business concept doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a lot of swap stations, especially when you're not a premium user. It's the leasing aspect is what people like about it. It cuts the upfront costs. You cut the cost of the battery, which is a big deal. And then it also allows people to upgrade their mass market vehicle as well to I don't know, maybe the next one that comes out in 2027 or 2028. So I do think that NIO might end up leasing their batteries out to other companies like Ford, for example. I've actually said this since last year. NIO has a lot of these innovative business models that really need to be considered. But when you look at Verizon and you look at NIO, there's a lot of correlations when it comes to their business models and how they want to win their customers over. So you just have to look at different companies and then kind of compare how NIO can capitalize on those kind of business models, and then integrate it to a smart how they'd integrate that to a smartphone, to a smart electric vehicle. I'm sorry, it's 3:51 a.m. But yeah, anyway, smartphone for NIO.